All right. Sup, y'all. Welcome to Original Gamers Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Ryan, otherwise known as Huge Cow Patty or HCP for short. And I am joined today, as always, by my guest, Joel Watt.
Hello, friends.
And Nolan Brown.
Hi. We're your guests?
I realized I said that after. I was like,
Wait a minute.
I'm pretty sure we're co-hosts.
All right, co-host.
Co-host,
not guest. This week...
Yeah.
It's finally happening. We are playing. That probably sounded awful. It probably just sounded like I took my microphone and started shaking it because my mic is actually attached to my desk, which I was just banging on. So I apologize if that sounded.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that it wasn't as awful as I imagined it was going to be. We are talking about Sonic R.
Yep.
Why?
Running joke. Been building up to this for... I don't know when the first time it got mentioned was, but if there's some super fan out there that wants to go back and listen to all the old episodes and find it and let us know, feel free to.
I'm pretty sure our super fan is our editor now.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. We made a joke one day about thanking our super fan Assad by making him our editor, and then I actually went and did it. Because I need one. So so we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be talking about Sonic R. Before we do that, let's check in with our co-host, not our guest, our co-host. Who would I want to start with? Nolan, what are you doing? How you been?
I'm all right. Just it's been a very long week, and this next one's going to be even worse.
Even worse.
Working at a church.
Yeah. That's what you two get for working for churches.
Well, it also happens to be spring break, because my other job, I work for a camp. So, they're off all week. So, I also have that situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to, have to be there at 7 o'clock, which I realize isn't that bad. And then... yeah, I've gotten no sleep this last weekend because
How's Monster Hunter World going?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I haven't gotten especially far because I have a little more time, but I'm also, my buddy waited for me to get it, so we've just kind of been playing together. So we haven't gotten especially far yet, but I am excited that they have included the Angry Pickle himself. There's a joke that the new monster they just added, the Devil Joe, is called the Angry Pickle or various things associated with pickle because he kind of just looks like a pickle with legs.
Okay, I'm pretty in on a lot of game jokes, and I've never heard that.
Angry Pickle isn't really one. It's like Devil Pickle and stuff.
Okay.
Let me see if
Angry Pickle sounds hilarious though. Then again, kind of sounds like a euphemism too.
It kind of does, to an extent.
Is it actually called the Devil
Joe? Yeah,
Devil Joe. Yeah. Here, I'll screen share for our YouTube listeners to be able to see that. So there it is.
Yeah, that is it.
That is a thing, and I could see how somebody would look at that and go, "That is an Angry Pickle."
The new one is much more, obviously it's very much more high def, so the spikes are more pronounced on him, and he also, when he walks around, he's basically straight like this with his legs,
like a modern depiction of a T-Rex.
Yeah, he's not kind of sitting up with his tail down and his head up more.
Yeah.
So that's also part of it.
I just realized, hang on. It said you were screen sharing, but that present to everyone. So I guess I need to do that so that everybody can actually see it on YouTube. So there we go. Everybody can see it.
It was showing up when you were talking.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it forwarded to YouTube though. So now we know. There it is. Big ol' angry pickle.
Yeah. So I'm on a Reddit thing right here for the Monster Hunter Reddit, and there's like a post, and I was like, "Wait, his real name is Devil Joe." She thought she thought they were just they were calling it Devil Joe as a nickname every time it popped up. Because anytime like there's when you get to higher rank ones, it'll say like unstable, which just basically just means something else can show up. Once you get to that like certain level, a Devil Joe will just pop up every time.
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
And then that just says good old Pickles, man. My friends and I have so many stupid nicknames. Devil Joke, G.I. Joe, Gerbil Joe, Devil Jeeves, Tecker Gerbs. My wife's favorite nickname for him is Nope. Let's see. That it? Wow. That.
Oh,
here we go.
Just so that everybody at home doesn't get confused. The devil pickle should not be confused with this.
The giant pickle.
That is the giant pickle from VeggieTales.
Yeah, that's Goliath.
It is not the same thing.
It is not.
This is different. So just want to make sure that everybody understood that.
Dave and the giant pickle.
One is a cartoon. Actually, I guess they're both cartoons because they're both animated.
Yeah, one is computer generated. Oh no, wait,
they're both fat too.
No, I did that on purpose. Oh.
Well, cool. Joel, what you been up to?
Well, I've been gearing up for Easter a lot like Nolan, because I work at a church, and this is the busiest week of the year. I actually pulled into work on Sunday and saw that the pastor's message was about Palm Sunday and not the series we've been going through. Like we go cover to cover through the Bible. And so, we've been in 2 Kings for a while. And so like all of a sudden I pull up his PowerPoint and it's not 2 Kings, it's Palm Sunday. And we're just like, oh no, we have a week till Easter. Oh no. Because, everything you just kind of go from day to day, and you lose track of time. And suddenly I have 7 days until Easter. I have so much to get done this week. It's not even funny. So, yeah. So today was our, staff meeting, last staff meeting before Easter. And, just getting things planned out. I kind of have a plan in my head. I just need to make sure everything is executed by Saturday. And played some Mario Maker last week. I played exactly one level actually in Mario Maker Monday. And since it was the only submission, I was like, well, let's try and get the world record on it.
Nice.
And I was the first clear on it anyway. And I was like, I mean, that took 12 minutes, but I'm pretty sure I could knock it down quite a bit if I did it all in one shot. And so I spent probably the first half hour was like just figuring out how to beat the level. The second half hour was like honing my skill for that level. And so I got it down to just over a minute. Like once I actually completed it in one shot. And I was like, that is good enough for me as far as improvements go. So yeah. And then I didn't have any more submissions and I wasn't feeling super awesome, a little under the weather. So I was like, I'm just going to call it quits. But hopefully this week, I know we're not actually live, so nobody's listening right now, but hopefully this week we'll get more submissions. Maybe I should say something on Facebook.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I was like, because I got off super early today. I got off at like 1 o'clock, which doesn't usually happen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I have time. I'll be able to work on some stuff. And then I'm like, oh, I'll see if I can redo some of those levels that got taken down for Joel. And
yeah.
I realized I didn't get to do any of that because I was working on other things. But I'm like,
it's okay.
I'm like taking my.
I love you too, man.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm like, we take something out, and maybe I can do it while you're during the stream and see if that works out. But
yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I completed Super Mario Odyssey 100%.
I saw
Got
that.
all
wow.
999 moons and the skeleton suit. So, which by the way, the last 99 moons I had to buy, and I think it's actually 109 moons is how many you have to buy. Because I
Okay.
bought a set of 10 just like spontaneously, and I was like, oh crap, that was 1,000 coins.
Yep.
And so then I grinded up to 99.99, which is the most you can carry, by the way. It doesn't scroll past that. I was kind of upset when I learned that, because I was like, all right, I got like 98.47. So I just need to do like one more run of this, and I'll be over 10,000. It'll be great. And it stopped at 99.99. I was like, ah, crap.
That's lame.
So I just like, where I was grinding, you can fall off the platform in it without consequence. So
At Bowser's
Bowser's
Bowser
Kingdom, yeah.
Planet, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's not
I just
Mario.
as soon as I realized it stopped counting, I just jumped off
Right.
and spent 9,900 coins buying moons, put them all in the Odyssey, and then grinded for another 9,000 coins. And yeah, that was fun. Not
Sweet.
really, but I mean, it was fun, like finding the rest of the moons that I needed, and then grinding to 10,000 coins twice was not super fun, but sense of satisfaction. Game's done. I don't ever need to play it again. But
But you will one day.
One day. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, so first of all, while I was streaming Jackbox on Friday night, I could hear my wife in the other room. I could hear the TV, and I heard Kirby Star Allies.
Oh man.
And I was like, oh, she's playing it. Like, because as I played it, for a little bit. It's, if you watch the Talking Heads, the Monday episode has Kirby Star Allies footage on it, so I had already played it some. But last time I tried playing like a multiplayer platformer was Super Mario 3D World, and she just felt like I was leaving her behind all the time, which was probably accurate.
It's not a co-op game. I've tried that before. I'm like, it's not a co-op. It's a versus.
Yes,
exactly. So when I heard her playing Kirby, I was like, well, I hope she's liking it. And of course, Kirby games are generally way, way easier than Mario games. So when I got done streaming Jackbox, I went out there and I said, hey, were you playing Kirby? Because she wasn't playing it anymore when I got out there. She said, yeah. And I'm like, well, what'd you think? She goes, I really liked it. I actually saw where she was, and at the time she was ahead of where I was. So she had actually played it past where I went. But yeah, so we haven't gotten to play it together yet. I tend to like to play games like that once through by myself before I go back and play it with somebody else. But it's a Kirby game. I imagine I'll have it beat not too long from now. So that's exciting. I also started playing Into the Breach, which Joe Morgan of Righteous Fury Media bought for me so I could play for Patty Plays Pathetically.
That's a tactical RPG, right?
Yes, it is. I need a stupid heart.
They usually are.
Well, this one in particular, you've got several missions, and apparently you have to beat all of the missions on an island to be able to save anything, because I'll beat 2 or 3 of the missions and then I'll die and I have to do all of them over again.
Jeez.
And the hour or so that I played, I never finished that island. So the game is as if, like, when I go play it again tomorrow to record more footage, it will be as if I've never played it before, even though I put like 2 hours into it.
That's like classic XCOM difficulty.
That's aggravating. I love the mechanics though, so I'm gonna push through. Also, since I'm not the one who paid for it, I feel like if I don't push through, Joe will have just
right.
bought it for me for nothing. So,
It's okay.
yeah,
I buy games for myself all the time that I never play.
yeah,
Yeah, me
but
too.
that's different. You know, it's like, well, hey, I'm the one who bought it. If I don't play it, you know, whatever. And then so that game, if you watch Wednesday's episode of Talking Heads, that is the game that you see there. And then Friday's episode, I'm playing BioShock. I've never played BioShock before.
What?
I did not know that BioShock was the way that it is. That game is creepy as crap,
Yeah.
dude.
And it's like super. I mean, I won't say cheery, but like you're outside and it's like bright.
Yeah. It's
Freaking the original one, that game freaked me out. Like
it's
I was
really
like,
dark.
Yeah,
Well, like
it's
the whole little sisters and big daddies thing, like that's two different levels of scary at the same time.
yes. So I'm the beginning, and the game is old enough that we could actually talk about it on the show one day. So
I debated doing it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I don't want spoilers. Fast forward because the game is old enough. Shouldn't be worried about that. Yeah. But it starts out and you're involved in a plane crash and you swim your way to this weird tower that winds up taking you down to Rapture. And this guy on a radio just starts giving you orders and you just do what he tells you to do without questioning any of it. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I was just in a plane crash. Can we back up and talk about that for a minute? And the game's like, no, we cannot. You have something else to do. I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, I played that for about an hour. So, and it's weird as heck. I think I died once. Yeah, I died one time and I revived in that little vitality machine or whatever it's called. So I'm really enjoying it. It's very strange, but yeah, and I'm playing the remastered version. I actually tried before they remastered it. I had the original 3, which I don't think they actually remastered the 3rd one because it was new enough.
Yeah.
But the game, like even when I would run it in Windows compatibility mode, either I got picture and no sound, or I could tweak some settings and I would get sound and no picture. I could not get both at the same time. So then they remastered the games, and if you already owned the original 2 on Steam, you just got the remaster for free. So I've had the remaster sitting in my library for a while, and I was like, well, let's play this. So I'm doing that. So that's fun. I also watched with April The Host, which is based on a Stephanie Meyer's book. And it was as good as you probably expect a Stephanie Meyer's movie to be, which is to say that it really wasn't.
That you love your wife.
But I do love my wife. She really enjoyed the book. And then we got to the end of the movie. Like, so I was trying to be careful because I'm like, look, she read the book. She likes the book. I'm not going to just sit here and make fun of this. She was ripping, like every 10 or 15 minutes, she would have to pause it and explain to me how the movie just completely got wrong this thing that was in the book. And so she was explaining that to me. And she also kept being like, the acting in this is just absolutely horrible. And finally, when the movie was over, I was like, you saw the Twilight movies. I don't know what you were expecting. And she's like, but I like them. And I'm like, I think you like the books. I don't think you like the movies. I haven't read the books. I'm even though I think the books are probably ridiculous, I haven't read them, so I don't know. But I have seen the first Twilight movie, so I can speak from experience. The movie is just awful. But even when we got to the end of The Host, she was talking about the acting. I said, and actually, I don't remember the acting in Twilight being as bad as it was in The Host, but how I described the acting in The Host was, if you go back to the first 3D FMV cutscenes from, we just lost Joel. Hopefully he'll come back. There he is. If you look back and remember the first 3D cutscenes, FMVs from Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that from the PlayStation, and how stiff everything was, it was like the actors in this movie were told to do that. That's how just utterly awful it was. So, but the host is on Netflix. If you want to like make your own Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode to a really bad movie, that I recommend that one. That's good. All right. Speaking of things that are bad, we're going to talk about Sonic R. Now, normally we talk about games that we look back on fondly. We're not doing that this week. We're
Happy Easter, everyone.
We're talking about and actually since Easter got brought up, normally record this on Sunday, and I would generally try and find a different recording time for us, but since my two co-hosts both work for churches, I'm not going to try and ask them to squeeze one more thing into their week. So there will not be an episode of Original Gamers Podcast because of Easter. So enjoy your Easter. All right. Sonic R, actually developed by Traveler's Tales in conjunction with Sonic Team, and I'm pretty sure that might have had something to do with why it took y'all so long to guess what this game was in 20 questions.
Yeah,
last week. Right. It was also published by Sega and directed by Masamitsu Shino, like we or like me.
Well,
but
yeah, both eyes are pronounced separately. It's weird.
Shiino?
Yeah, Shiino.
Okay. And then Richard Lloyd. Bless you, Richard, for having
a normal name.
A
Caucasian name. Yes. Easy for us to pronounce.
Joel, who designed this wonderful piece of art?
A couple of people named Takashi Iizuka, Shiro Mukaide, and Shun Nakamura. And so I looked up some of these people. Takashi Iizuka worked on Sonic 3 and Knuckles as the designer. Later, he worked with Traveler's Tales to help develop Sonic R, and he was the lead designer for Nights into Dreams.
Nice.
And he helped direct Sonic Adventure, and it was his idea for Sonic to be in a role-playing game, which I guess is what the whole Chow Garden thing is, right? It's like a role-playing game a little bit.
I guess there is a Sonic RPG though.
There is
Sonic, yeah, and I feel like it was developed by some Bethesda studio. Was Sonic in the Black Knight or something?
That's not
that game. That was way later.
Is that not a
way later? That's not an RPG though.
That's not an RPG.
Yeah, no, it's not an RPG.
There is a Sonic RPG. Let me.
Okay.
Sonic Rush.
Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood.
That sounds like a Bethesda RPG.
It's on
the Dark Brotherhood.
It's on Nintendo DS, developed by BioWare. That's who developed
BioWare. Gotcha.
I knew it was some big developer that you would be like, they made that? What?
Yeah.
So, real quick, Traveler's Tales is still around. They do the Lego games.
Oh, that's
and
right.
If you have, I know a lot of people like Lego games, those are for kids. If you have not played Lego Batman 2, which is on PS3 and Xbox 360, I don't know if it's on
things.
Or if you haven't played Lego City Undercover, which was a Wii U exclusive, is now on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and I think PC. Both of those games are fantastic. I can't speak for any of the Lego games. Those two in particular, though, I have personally put many hours into each of them. They're great. So, what do I feel like they did? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I was thinking they did those what are they called? Shoot, they're bullet hell games.
Oh, you're not thinking of Toho. No,
the name of the game or the developer?
No, the name, no, Toho is developed by like one dude.
Oh
It's the most
no,
infamous.
I was thinking of Sin and Punishment and Ikaruga.
Ikaruga, yes.
Ikaruga.
But
Oh,
did
that's
they
right. You guys wanted me to play that one time.
did they do either one of those? I don't see it in their list of games, so
I don't think so.
I might be getting them mixed up with somebody else.
Ikaruga was developed by Treasure. It's the people who made that Gunstar Heroes,
Yeah. Okay.
Dodonpachi,
Right.
Gradius 5. Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah, Traveler's Tales also, let's see. They did Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex.
Mm-hmm.
They did Sonic 3D Blast also. That was the first Sonic game that they were listed here. And oh wow, I didn't realize this, when they were first started doing Lego games, I guess they were still independently owned, because the publisher for each of those games is different all the way up until Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7, when they must have been bought by Warner Brothers, their current owner, because every game after that is published by Warner. Also, every game after that is a Lego game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So right at the top of the Wikipedia article, it says on November 8th, 2007, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment announced they had purchased Traveler's Tales games for an undisclosed amount as part of their expansion into the video game industry.
So probably a stupid amount of money,
Probably.
I would imagine. But yeah, there's and it's, even though they're owned by Warner, they still get Marvel licenses for Lego, which is odd because Disney owns them.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers owns DC.
Yes.
So it's kind of weird.
They still get Star Wars.
Yeah, they get Marvel and Star Wars licenses for the Lego games,
which I'm guessing is just mostly because those Lego games sell really well, and Disney would be stupid to not let that happen. So
yeah.
Anyway, got sidetracked there. Nolan, who's produced this game?
Producer. We have Yuji Naka.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these people, so I'm like,
no, that was a joke. Yuji Naka is the creator of Sonic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just all you really need to know about that then. Like, I don't know.
But this next guy I've never actually heard of.
Tetsuo Shinyu.
He didn't have a Wikipedia article.
I know, they all sound like anime names to me.
I actually knew a guy named Tetsuo.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tetsuo has an entry on a website called Sega Retro. He has been involved in the production of Biohazard Battle, was on the Mega Drive. I don't know what that is. Let me look for some games I've actually heard of. World Series Baseball, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, the best game ever.
Heck yeah. Guilty Gear XX/. What is it? XX or Cross? You never know what these.
I have no idea, because like the latest one was called Xrd.
Yeah. Oh, he did the Puyo Puyo Tetris that just came out recently on the Switch, and the date's 2014. That game came out on PS4 first, didn't it? I was thinking it did, yeah. So, yep.
I never heard of it before the Switch launch.
I hadn't either, but I'm pretty sure it's on PS4. So there you go. All right. I was saying earlier that the one redeeming quality of this game is the music, and the man behind the music, his name is Richard. Do you pronounce that Jacques?
No S, just Jacques.
Jacques. So is he? I was wondering if he was French. If he was born.
Oh no, it is. You do pronounce the S. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It is Jacques.
He was born in the United Kingdom, according to his Wikipedia page. He, let's see, is a British composer who is most known for his various contributions in the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series by Sega. So let's see what else he's done. He did Sonic 3D Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic R, Jet Set Radio.
Yeah. He was one of the composers for that.
iToy Play 2 and
Yeah.
3, but
Yeah.
not
Oh, gosh.
1, apparently. Battle Stations Midway, Sega Superstars Tennis, Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood, which we mentioned earlier, Sonic and the Black Knight, Hasbro Family Game Night, James Bond 007 Bloodstone. I don't know what that is. Sonic Generations, it says composition arrangement, and Supersonic Racing is in that game. I don't know if he had anything else to do with it, but
his previous compositions are part of the Sega Digital Studio. If you look at the second note.
Oh yes, there you go. Little Big Planet, the Muppets Premiere Level Kit.
Premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the word. And then all 3 Sonic Boom games: Rise of Lyric, Shattered Crystal, Fire and Ice.
There were 3 of those.
There were.
Yeah. The third one, or no, the boy, not Rise of Lyric. Obviously, that was the infamous one that was terrible. But I heard Shattered Crystal was not bad, and so Fire and Ice is the sequel. Those are both 3DS games.
Okay. Weirdly missing from this list, Sonic 2006. He had nothing to do with that game. So if you were unfortunate enough to have played that, don't blame Richard. His name is not attached to it.
Yeah, he was doing other games at the time, looks like. Wait, he worked on Mass Effect.
I didn't even see that. What?
Yeah, I just noticed.
When did that come out? That was
2007.
2007. Yep.
Crap, the first Mass Effect is old enough to be covered by us.
Yep, sure is. Too bad I didn't like it.
I've never played it. I
might have liked this more than I liked Mass Effect. Now all the Mass Effect fans are like, unsubscribe. I don't care. Just did not like that game. But that's because I don't like Western RPGs, and I found out well into that game. I had put hours into that game before actually getting into any combat. And then I get to my very first enemy encounter and I fire, and it's like all the RPG stuff goes off. I immediately pause, quit, eject, return to person I borrowed it from. I didn't get any further than firing one bullet. I was like, nope, not doing this.
Yeah.
So anyway, artist Yuji Yukawa and Yoshitaka Miura. I don't hear anybody arguing with me, so that must be it. We're gonna go with that. And created by Yuji Naka, of course. This game was released on the Sega Saturn in North America on November 18th, 1997. Japan, December 4th, 1997. And PAL regions, November 21st, 1997. Japan got this last. Weird.
Interesting.
The Windows version, which I have it. I should have had it here so I could hold it up, but I don't see it anywhere. The Windows version, November 11th, 1998. PAL, that was North America. PAL regions, November 15th, 1998. In Japan, December 11th, 1998. They got to last again. Yeah, that's right, Japan. Eat it. This game is also weirdly on the Sonic Gems collection. You might be saying to yourself, this isn't a gem. You would be right. In fact, most of the games on that collection are not gems. That between the Mega Collection and the Gems Collection, the Mega Collection is really good. The Gems Collection, it's not really good. It's the opposite of that. The Gems Collection has 3D Blast on it, Sonic R, Sonic Fighter. Who knows what else? I don't even know. Someone has to look at, but that's out there. That was on GameCube and PS2, not Xbox. Strangely, I'm pretty sure the Mega Collection was on Xbox, but the Gems Collection is not. All right. Presentation. We will discuss the art style, the sound design, the musical score, the story. That's right. This game has a story. The gameplay, because of course it has a story. Why wouldn't it?
What
the
is
gameplay.
the story?
possible outside influences for these things. Let's actually go ahead and cover that one right now. Mario Kart. Everybody back then was like, our mascot needs a Mario Kart game. Crash Bandicoot needs a Mario Kart
Well,
game.
I don't think it was even Mario Kart that started the trend of mascot kart racers. It was Diddy Kong Racing that was like the first one to copy Mario Kart. And then everybody decided to do it.
Yeah.
Disney did it, and freaking, Crash Bandicoot. And I think actually the Disney one was based on Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And then, who else? Jack and Daxter. And
Well, that was much later as far as
but still, like, he got one.
Still needed it. Still had to have it. And so
and freaking Sonic. Of course Sonic got a kart racer, but they're not racing in karts.
Right, they're not racing in karts, which actually makes sense. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all run. Amy Rose is in a car-like thing. Robotnik is also in his little whatever that hover thing is that he's in all the time. Then there's
Death Egg, but that's his Death Star clone. What is his actual?
I don't even know if it has a name. I'm sure it does somewhere, but I haven't the slightest idea.
The Egg Machine. We'll just call it that.
There you go. We'll call it that. Makes sense. Then there's Egg Robo, or whatever the mechanized version of Robotnik is. Actually, in this game, were they calling him Robotnik still, or were they calling him Eggman?
Pretty sure he's still Robotnik.
I was thinking
I am the
that it wasn't until Sonic Adventure that they started calling Robotnik Eggman in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you unlock Metal Sonic, and I didn't know this until I started doing research for this episode, because I never unlocked these characters apparently. But there are metal versions of Knuckles and Tails also.
Yeah.
Which was new to me. As far as I know, there are not metal versions of Knuckles and Tails in other Sonic games.
Yeah, they don't have articles about them. They're called Tails Doll and Metal Knuckles. Very original there for that other one.
I feel like I've heard something about Tails Doll though.
No,
I don't know.
Really? I don't know. One of those like EXE fake horror games though. that I've seen someone play.
I saw Markiplier.
I just found fan art for it. Yeah,
I'm like, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's not
so,
but yeah.
So yeah. So there's that. And actually, even though they don't call it Sonic R anymore, well, yeah, there actually was a teaser for something Sonic related that had the R logo, which they haven't used in Sonic racing games since this one.
Yeah.
No idea what that trailer is actually for, because like we said, in this game, at the very least, the main characters are not in karts, and that would include Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, and Tails Doll. But since then, you had Sonic Riders, where they were on those hoverboard things. Yeah. And now, which I don't remember Sonic Riders being very good either. I don't remember being this bad, but it wasn't great. The Sega, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing games, which I think there are just two of, because there's the original one and then there's all Transformed that was on the last generation of consoles. Those are not half bad games. In fact, on the Wii U, the Transformed one was a launch title. So while you were waiting for Mario Kart 8 to come out, that was pretty decent kart racer to have. I don't remember where I was going. Oh, yeah, that trailer. So there was a trailer. It has a picture of a car in it, and you see the silhouette of the Sonic emblem, and the only thing that ever comes into view is the R. So no idea if it's like, are they rebooting Sonic R? Is it a sequel to Sonic R? Is it not Sonic R at all, and they're just like going for some weird nostalgia play? No idea. But since this is really the only Sonic racing game that's like it, I would say the series began and died right here, and then they just went off in other directions. You can argue with me if you want to, but
I agree with you.
That's my opinion there. Okay, art style. It's very early 3D and very early 3D for the Sega Saturn, which was not designed to really be able to do 3D.
No.
So if you've ever seen 3D done on the Saturn, it's pretty bad. In fact,
I mean, I think we all remember the side by side of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So here is, I'm gonna screen share again. Here's a screenshot of the game, present to everyone. Yeah. So it's real low polygon, like lower than Mario 64.
Yeah.
It's just there, but yes, and there's your original 5 characters that you get from the start, and this is actually the first world. Somehow the person who played this got first. I don't know how he controlled Sonic well enough to be able to do that.
Axe.
But but there it is. What else? Okay, here's a nice one where they're clipping through a Robotnik. That's great.
Oh boy.
So yeah,
That's a well-made game.
This is yeah, and you can tell this thing was not ready to ship. And if you've there's a really good book called Console War. I almost said Game Over, but that's actually kind of covers the game industry before Console War and focuses mostly on Nintendo. But Console War is the Genesis, Super Nintendo era, and the book ends like right as the Saturn and the PlayStation are coming out. So they actually cover a little bit of the weird relationship between Nintendo and Sony around the PlayStation. It's a really good book. There is actually an Audible version that I highly recommend. And if you do that, I'll actually put a link to that in the YouTube description. If you use that link, that's going to be the CrossForge Gaming Amazon affiliate link. It's a really good book. That book mostly follows Sega, and after the book was published and wound up doing pretty well, I heard somewhere that a spokesperson with Nintendo who really didn't want to talk with the guy who wrote it. I don't remember what his name is, but after the book came out, the spokesperson with Nintendo like comes out and says something to the effect of, "Oh, we didn't realize this book was going to be as big of a deal as it was, and if we had, we probably would have talked to this guy." So I think they got the impression that this was just some dude like writing it out of his basement and no one's ever going to read it. But it's told mostly from the perspective of Sega, not because that's how he wanted it, but that's because that's who he could get to talk to him. So it's a really good book. But I bring that up because it goes into a lot of detail about how Sega was being not managed real well. And in some cases, Sega of Japan and Sega of America were being pitted against each other, especially right around the time that the Saturn came out. Because that's actually why you have... So there was the Genesis, which did really well. And then you've got the Sega CD and the 32X and the Saturn that all kind of came out real close to each other. And that's because none of the departments were talking to each other and they were in some ways competing with each other. This game very much feels like a product of that time where they didn't know what they were doing and they were just putting stuff out because Sony was kicking their butts in the 32-bit space. And when did this launched in 90? Okay, so the N64 was already out. But during development of it, the N64 would have been being talked about. Of course, the N64 didn't do anywhere near as well as the PlayStation did, but Sega didn't know that was going to happen. So, yeah, it's a mess of a game, but it has its quirks. I was explaining to my wife that this is a game that is so bad that it's good. And she was like, "Oh,
I disagree."
Joel disagrees. We know." Sound design, the sound effects all sound like they're mostly just ripped straight out of Sonic 3 for the Genesis, maybe higher quality bit rate because the Saturn is a CD.
Well, I think Sonic CD maybe.
Oh yeah,
probably that was
would have had CD audio too.
what was that for? It was the
Sonic CD was for the Sega CD. Or
Sega
the,
CD. Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was called, but I wasn't sure. I was like, that sounds too stupid. But
Don't put it past them.
Sonic CD for the Sega CD. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that's all the sound effects of that. But all the music is this weird Euro house not trance, techno stuff.
Well, the Windows version which you played actually had better music and like extra tracks. The Saturn version was not as fancy as the Windows one.
It's on the I'm gonna verify the differences, but I know on the because one of the great things about CDs back then was the CD games was a lot of times you could pop them in a CD player and listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I did that with like there was the first Twisted Metal for PlayStation.
Yes.
Was like having a Rob Zombie album because he did all the music in it. And this was the same way. But on the PC version, and again, I'm verifying that this wasn't on the Saturn version, but I know on the PC there are karaoke versions of all the songs. So versions of the songs where there's no lyrics. And does the Wikipedia article say if it's different? Well, there was an official soundtrack CD released on January 21st, 1998. Assuming you could just put the game in your CD player and it worked. I don't know why you would need that, but whatever.
Maybe it didn't.
Maybe the Saturn version didn't work like that. I'm not seeing it in the Wikipedia article. But yeah, you're right that this soundtrack was slightly different. And I'd be willing to bet that that's what it was. Because each level had its own song. So I would find it weird if like a song got repeated on the Saturn version. That'd be strange. But yeah, you'll get to hear some of that music at the end of the audio version of the podcast, and you heard some of it at the beginning. This is the game that has Supersonic Racing, which has actually been reused. There's a version of it on Sonic Generations, which is actually a pretty stinking good game. It's on PC. And there's a version of it in Smash Brothers for Wii U. Actually, it might just be this version. I don't think it's any kind of a remix or anything. It's just ripped right out of this. So if you want to see how crazy it sounds, but you can just YouTube it because that's a thing that people can do now. All right, we talked about a plot. There is a plot. I'm going to read it. Sonic and Tails are about to take a holiday. That's vacation for you Americans that don't know that. When Tails notices an advertisement for a World Grand Prix, while not initially interested, Sonic notices that Dr. Robotnik is also participating in the race, which persuades him to change his mind and enter the race. It is revealed that Robotnik has recently learned of the whereabouts of the rare and powerful Chaos Emeralds, because, of course, he has. And because apparently at the end of every game, Sonic loses them. Why he doesn't just keep them somewhere, I don't know.
That would be the smart thing to do.
It really would. It would solve so many of his problems. With which he aspires to enslave the world, and the World Grand Prix is actually a trap used to distract Sonic. That's weird. Robotnik started the World Grand Prix as a way to trap and distract Sonic, but Robotnik is also participating in it. Shouldn't he be out looking for the Chaos Emeralds?
Well,
makes no sense.
You know,
Knuckles, yes, Knuckles and Amy overhear Robotnik's plan and decide to compete. Together, the four must balance both winning races and obtaining the Chaos Emeralds to keep them out of Robotnik's reach. So that actually brings us to how the game works out. In Mario Kart, you just win. That's what you need to do. There's no like mission structure or anything, unless you're playing the missions that are in the DS version of Mario Kart. That's a completely different thing. You got to race and you got to collect rings, and good luck staying on the track long enough to be able to do that because the controls are terrible in this game. But you collect rings, and when you collect enough rings, you can unlock a gate that has gated off part of the track. You also have to find this thing. It's not always immediately obvious where the gate is, which that actually kind of falls in line with the rest of the Sonic series, because all the Sonic games are about different paths. There's a high path, a middle path, and a low path to basically every Sonic level, at least every 2D Sonic level ever made. So the branching paths is not something new to Sonic for this game. And then if you have enough rings and you can unlock the gate, then you go collect the Chaos Emerald. But then in order to actually get credit for collecting the Chaos Emerald, you do have to get in first for that race. So, and the path to get the Chaos Emerald, usually not a shortcut. In fact, you're probably going to put you behind. So that made it complicated. But, I seem to remember I unlocked Metal Sonic and Super Sonic. So I did it somehow. Probably banging my head on the desk a lot. Of course, I was a kid. I didn't know that it controlled badly. I was just like, this is cool. Sonic's in 3D and he's running really fast. And
right.
now I'm an adult and I'm like, oh my gosh, so many hours of my life I wasted on this. It was awful. So yeah, so that's the plot of this game. Honestly, the biggest problem with the controls, in Mario Kart, you have a gas pedal, and that's what propels you forward, and that frees your left thumb to steer with the stick, or if you're playing Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, the D-pad. Even in Halo, which you drive the Warthog with the analog sticks, one of them is the gas and the brake, and the other one steers. But in Sonic R, it controlled like a 3D platformer would. So up on the analog stick is forward. But that's also what you steer with. And holding... So I guess it didn't control exactly like a 3D platformer, because holding left would make the character run in that direction in, say, Mario 64. But holding left in this was just turreting. So if you're not holding like diagonal in the direction that you want to turn, you're not giving your character any forward momentum at all. And this goes for every character. Just because Robotnik was in a ship doesn't mean he had a separate gas pedal. It's just really, really, really bad control design there. And that's all I have to say about that. Have either of you two played this?
No.
No.
How do you know it's bad?
I watched somebody try and play it, somebody who's really good at video games, and he could not play it. It was
That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all.
He was yelling and cursing the whole time. Like, how do you play this game?
Was it on a Saturn?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. And wait, so you were in the room with someone playing the game and you didn't play it?
No, I was watching a video.
Oh. I thought that you were talking about like a friend of yours.
No.
And I'm like, how did you not because there's a 2-player mode.
Yeah, no, if I was in the room with a Saturn playing this game, I would have let you know.
Okay. And Nolan, you've never played it?
No. As much as I'd want to, just because of all I've heard about it's
the memes.
I'd want to, but I don't have a Saturn and I don't have anything that can run, or I don't have a Windows equivalent that'll work with that. So
yeah, that is, I have the PC version, and I've mentioned this on the show before. It doesn't run on my computer. It's mostly a compatibility issue with Windows 10. Now, Sega has not supported the PC version of the game in any capacity since its original release, which would have been for Windows 98. But fans, and I don't know if they're actually fans or just people that like playing awful games, have managed to get the game working on Windows XP, Windows 7, probably Vista, and I think maybe even Windows 8. there's a guy out there. I followed his guide, but he claimed that he had it working for Windows 10. I could not get it working. It could be that, you know, the most common chipset and GPU for PCs is Intel and Nvidia. I am running AMD on both, so I've got AMD CPU and a Radeon graphics card. So it's possible that that is the problem, because it involved like going in and altering some hexadecimal code, and I don't know anything about coding.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know anything about coding. I just made sure I followed the directions exactly the way that it wanted me to be able to do this. And I'm fairly certain I recreated it, because he like had pictures and had like programs to go download and all this stuff to make it work. I never could get it to work. While I don't condone using emulators, I wanted to see if I couldn't get an emulator, Saturn emulator, in this game running. And I did, but I couldn't. The emulator that I had wouldn't lock the frames per second. And so it was running the game at probably something like 200 frames a second. And so everything was just going really fast.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Whoa,
So,
gosh.
and like I said, the emulator I was running had no way of locking that. And even if it did, it also weirdly didn't have any kind of controller support. So my Xbox controller didn't work with it. So I was like, I'm not going to try and play this with keyboard.
Yeah, what I would say is there's probably some kind of clock speed control that you need to do.
Probably
in the emulator.
Yeah.
And you need like a Joy to Key program intermediary thing.
Mm-hmm. But I was actually hoping that if I could have gotten it working and using the Xbox 360 controller, that I could have mapped both thumbsticks to behave like the thumbsticks, like the single thumbstick on the Saturn, and then I could push up and on one stick and turn with the other and drive all the characters like you would a vehicle in Halo. But since I couldn't get anything working, it wound up not mattering. So yeah, since we're actually talking about it, unless I go pick up a Sega Saturn and a Saturn copy of the game, I'm probably not ever.
You must play Sega Saturn.
I should. I never owned a Saturn. I don't even know that I've ever played a Saturn. I had a Genesis for a little while, and then I had a Dreamcast. But I didn't have a Saturn. I didn't have a 32X, and I didn't have a Sega CD. And the only Sega CD game I've ever played is the Xbox 360 version of Sonic CD. So, which that was actually, I think, the first game that guy that got hired to do Sonic Mania worked on officially for Sega.
Yeah. Now you said this was on Sonic Gems collection?
Yes.
What was that for?
That was for GameCube and PS2.
So it's possible to play this on a slightly more modern system, but it probably still plays terribly.
Probably, but I looked on.
Oh yeah, it goes for like $100 or something.
Yeah, I looked on eBay and it was not cheap. Otherwise, I probably would have looked into it. But let's see what else is on that. So you've got. Where's the list? Sonic CD, Sonic Fighters, Sonic R. No, there had to have been more. Oh, and then the Game Gear Sonics.
Wow.
So Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Triple Trouble. That's weird. It's got Sonic Spinball, which I'm sure there was a Game Gear version of Sonic Spinball, but I know that game was on Genesis because I had it on Genesis. The racing game. Oh, Sonic Drift. That was actually a Sonic racing game, and they were in cars, not on foot. In 2 games starring Tails Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventure. Players could also unlock Blue Sky Software's 2 Vector Man games. I played the first one of those. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but they're running gun 2D side scrollers. And the Japanese version features 4 other Genesis games by Sega: the 3 Streets of Rage games and Bonanza Brothers. or Bros, however they pronounced it. I know Streets of Rage. I don't know what Bonanza Bros is.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is either.
Let's see.
But I was looking into it. It would cost you more than $100 to get a Saturn and Sonic R and controllers.
Oh, yeah, probably. So
But at least you could play more Saturn games after that.
true, but if it's gonna cost me that, and all I wanted it was for Sonic R, I could just drop the $100 on Sonic Gems because I still have a GameCube and controllers and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so that's that. There's Sega has re-released lots of Sonic games. Of course, Sonic 1 through Knuckles are on anything that'll run Android these days. Sonic Adventure gets ported a lot. Sonic Adventure 2 gets ported a lot. But to my knowledge, Sonic 3D Blast and Sonic R don't, like, other than these collections, they don't show up on stuff.
Yeah. Well, because they usually only go for the games that people will play.
Right.
And I don't think anybody's going to play Sonic R.
That makes me wonder, because I've got a collection through Steam of a bunch of old Sonic games, and I wonder if 3D Blast is on it. Because that game was still 2D.
Yeah, it was just called 3D Blast. It was isometric.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Yeah.
But I know Sonic R isn't in it, and neither are Sonic Fighters. But 3D Blast might be. And these collections that are on Steam get like kept up with. They'll actually run on Windows 10 and modern hardware. So I'm opening Steam right now. Oh, I didn't. Ni no Kuni 2 is on PC. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that either.
That was a place. Oh, yep. Sonic 3D Blast can be bought separately for $5. It's also part of that Genesis Collect, so I probably have it in my library. Let's see.
Doom, doom, doom,
oh no, I don't. Oh well, I might have it in my library, but it's in a game called Sonic Collection, and I would have to open that game to see if it's in there. So, so I don't know, but it looks like from the trailer that's on the Sonic 3D Blast entry, it is in there. We're not talking about Sonic 3D Blast. We're talking about Sonic R. So good. Discuss the game's impact on our culture. The game's notoriously bad. If you look anything up about Sonic R, I'd be shocked if you found anybody saying anything good about the game except maybe the music. And I want to make it clear. I kind of like electronic music. I'm not super into it, but I kind of like it. The reason I like the Sonic R soundtrack is the same reason I like the rest of the game, because it's just so daggum bad. So if you ever, or like I'm on a podcast or something and I start, can you feel the sunshine? It's not because I personally enjoy this. It's because I enjoy making my friends suffer. That's the only reason I do it. Because I'm an awful person. Horrible human being. This game has had probably no impact whatsoever on the video game industry other than whatever it contributed to Sega not being a first-party developer anymore. Outside of that, I can't imagine that this game... Well, like I said, Supersonic Racing keeps popping up in other Sonic games.
Yeah, so this was like the first Sonic Racing game, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless this Game Gear Sonic Drift. When did that come out?
Well, if it was for Game Gear, then maybe.
Yeah, it came out in 95. Actually, Sonic Drift 2 came out in 95, so there's another one of these things.
Oh, dang.
Sonic Drift 2 released in Europe as Sonic Drift Racing. And it's the sequel to Sonic Drift, which came out in 94. When did Super Mario Kart come out?
92? 93?
Okay, yeah, 92. I was
Okay.
about to be like, don't tell me this is
No,
the first one.
no.
That would kind of blow my mind right there. Yep. So there we go. And in our own lives, so I actually remember buying this because I bought it with another awful PC game, Atomic Bomberman.
Oh boy.
Not to be confused with that
You
real
cut out really
gritty
good right there.
post-apocalyptic Bomberman
Zero.
Max Zero. That game's bad. Atomic Bomberman, not a half bad game. It's real bare bones. Like, it's if you stripped Bomberman down to only what makes it Bomberman, the one generic stage and a couple of colored Bomberman characters and then the items, that's all it was. There was no online play or like not even, because back then you were using phone modems. You couldn't even do that. It did, weirdly enough, support 8 players. You just all had to be sitting around the same computer and using the same keyboard. But you could do it. And so other than that, it wasn't a bad Bomberman game. It wasn't
Weird.
wasn't great, but it wasn't like horrible. But yeah, so I was in Sam's Club with my parents, and some kiosk had Atomic Bomberman and Sonic R in it. They were pretty stinking cheap. Kelly and I had the money. We didn't know we were buying. We were just like, something shiny and we can afford it. And so we buy the games and we get home and yeah, that the rest is history. Like I said, I was a dumb kid. I thought that Sonic R was great because it was Sonic in 3D. And I never had a Sega product, like hardware, until I was an adult. So I didn't have a Genesis. So being able to play a Sonic game on something I owned was kind of cool, not having to go over to a friend's house. Even though it was that. So that's that. And like Joel and Nolan said, neither one of them have even played this. So we'll have to change that one day.
No.
Yes.
Hopefully.
I'd
I'd be down to at least try it.
Joel, you want to read the trivia that you wrote?
This game plays like butt. I couldn't find any actual trivia. I first wrote that down as a joke, and then I was like, I was just researching Richard Jocks, and I was like, oh wow, he did all 3 Sonic Boom games. That's awesome. Like, that's terribly awesome. That's a piece of trivia. Like, yeah. But I couldn't find any actual trivia on Did You Know Gaming for Sonic R unless it was like in one of their more generic Sonic videos.
Yeah.
That I didn't have time to sit there and watch, So yeah, this game is awful. That you press forward to move forward, and then you have to use the same stick that you're pressing forward to turn right and left.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yep.
Whoever thought that was a good idea probably never play tested the game.
Probably not. Here, just a little snippet of the reception. The Saturn version of Sonic R received generally positive reviews. Sure. It received an aggregate score of 68.92 from Game Rankings, which was like pre-Metacritic. That's based on 6 reviews. And the PC version received 70% based on 2 reviews. According to this, the game's visuals were considered its strongest feature. No. Moving on down, because I'm not going to read this whole thing. Critical reaction to the game's level design was also widely positive. I don't actually remember the levels being bad because the controls were... That's what sticks out to me as being bad. So for all I know, if you could control the characters better, maybe the levels aren't really all that terrible. The title's controls and overall gameplay were not as well received yet, with certain critiques being the thumbstick working the way that it does. Sonic R's soundtrack was particularly divisive. Nutter, who his name was mentioned up here, I don't know who he's with, described the storm of controversy that surrounds the accompanying music, which has come in for a bit of a slagging on the internet recently for the addition of vocals. Although he was not a particular fan of dance music, Nutter stated that the tracks were better than most chart stuff. I mean, I would agree with that. Because consider when did that song "Blue" by Eiffel 65 come out? Because if that was,
I want to say that was 99.
I was to say, because if that was this game's competition, yeah, I'd say this was better than that. But if you know of any dance, if you know of any dance music that came out in what was it, 96 or 97? Somebody look up dance music. We'll see if we can't compare.
Oh, jeez. Trying to think of popular dance music.
Let's see. So while you're looking at that,
Eurobeat. That's about it.
Nutter stated the tracks were better than most chart stuff, while the included instrumental versions were sufficient to appease everyone. Oh, so the instrumental versions were on the Saturn version. Well, now I don't know what the differences were, but I do know there were differences. Sakenheim offered high praise for one of the most inspired soundtracks I've ever heard. While McDonald commented, I think that a lot more games should have songs with vocals. It gives the game so much more personality.
Supersonic Racing.
Conversely, Dan Electro deplored the unbelievably annoying music. Computer and Video Games, which is a magazine, complimented the music, saying it fits the Sonic style perfectly, and it's reminiscent of Sonic CD's soundtrack. I actually am going to disagree with that. Sonic soundtracks prior to this were had a lot more funky stuff.
Yeah,
because that's what the Genesis could do with the sound chip, was a lot of bass and funk. So I don't know where they were getting that it fits the Sonic style. Now, looking at the Sonic style that we know today, yeah, sure, it seems to fit just fine. Because
from Adventure,
yeah. Let's see. The ported version of the game, Sonic Gems Collection, was more negatively reviewed, probably because we all knew better at this time. Eurogamer called the game too awkward to play for any amount of time. One Up said the grainy visuals make it hard to tell where you're going, and the frustrating controls. Yeah, this probably has to do with the Saturn's not being designed to make 3D polygons, but it's really, any sense of depth is just, it's hard to tell where anything is in 3D space. GameSpot described it laughably bad soundtrack as okay. GameSpot's Ryan Davis describes its laughably bad soundtrack as the game's only redeeming quality. So he still called it laughably bad, but said it was redeeming quality. Game Trailers ranked it as the second worst Sonic game. Anybody want to guess what the first worst Sonic game is by Game Trailers?
Probably Sonic 06.
Sonic 06. Game designer Hirokazu Yasuhara, who helped Traveler Tales rework the game in response to concerns over the quality of a preview version, has maintained that the final version of Sonic R is actually quite good. However, I do admit that the base concept of Sonic R, in which a player drives running characters, is not great. I would make the argument that had they approached controlling the characters as if they were carts and giving them a separate gas and brake button from the control stick, it probably would not have been that bad. But yeah, we'll never know. I'll read this and then we can go ahead and wrap up. So despite Sega releasing 2 Sonic racing games prior to Sonic R, Sonic Drift and Sonic Drift 2 for the Game Gear, developer Takashi Yuta cited fans requesting more racing games in the vein of Sonic R. Was anybody doing that? Apparently. Sonic R would be Sega's actual inspiration for visiting the genre in future years. This led to the development and release of hoverboarding game Sonic Riders, although there are no connections between the two games other than both being racing games. Later Sonic games include Sonic Riders sequel, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and Sonic Free Riders, and then they went back to what is probably more like Sonic Drift, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, which is just a really, really weird title. I don't know about the first one of those, but the second one, Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed, has like character wise, it's like a Smash Brothers game.
Yeah.
Danica Patrick, the NASCAR driver, is in this game. It's bizarre.
I'm pretty sure one of the versions had Bayonetta, because she's a Sega character.
Yeah, that is probably true.
And Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes,
And-
Transformed had Wreck-It Ralph in it.
And yeah, like you said, Danica Patrick. I remember seeing that at Best Buy and think that's weird. Like I saw Wreck-It Ralph and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then Danica Patrick and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, and I wonder if Wreck-It Ralph is in it, like if they traded, because Sonic makes a small appearance in the movie.
Yeah.
He's a advertisement, but he's there. So I
No, he's
wonder.
walking through the square.
Is he?
Yeah.
He was the announcer of "Don't forget to."
Oh, he was probably in the ad also, but I'm pretty sure there's a shot of him.
Because that was
it was
like,
in like the main, it was like the power core or the
yeah,
the
and
power thing.
he's on like a screen.
Yeah, basically, hey, make sure that you don't get lost in here and that you make it back to your own game. Because if you die in the real,
Oh,
die
you're
outside
right.
the game, you die for real. As opposed
Yeah.
to in your
Now-
own game, you respawn.
Is Robotnik in the bad guys self-help group?
Yeah, he's
I wanna
in
say
the,
he is, but I don't remember.
yes.
Yeah, I was thinking he was there, but yeah, I think Sonic only appears, and then of course Bowser's in the bad guy group, and Mario is only mentioned by Fix-It Felix. It is actually,
Mhm.
I think Bowser's
Fix-It
the
Felix
only.
Jr.
I think Bowser's the only character you see from Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo was really
Besides
conservative.
other stuff,
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder
But-
if
Yeah, I
they'll
mean,
be
there's
more
like a-
loose with Wreck-It Ralph too.
Well,
There's a
that's what I
negative issue.
heard, that they're gonna allow Mario in Wreck-It Ralph 2, but it's Wreck-It Ralph takes on the internet, so it's gonna be a lot of memes and stupid stuff.
Oh
Like,
man,
yeah,
I'm now way less excited for this movie.
yeah. Oh, yeah. When I heard it was he takes on the internet, I was like, oh, maybe this was not a good one.
Yeah. And then last thing, songs from Sonic R's soundtrack were included in later games featuring Sonic in their original forms or as remixes. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, fighting game for Nintendo's Wii console, features the song Supersonic Racing as background music for its Green Hill Zone stage. Music was also featured in games such as Sonic Generations and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I'm pretty sure the Sonic Generations version of Supersonic Racing is in Smash Bros. Wii U. But I could be wrong. All right. That's that. The game's bad. There's gotta be like, did like JonTron play this? There's gotta be some famous YouTuber
The
out
Angry
there that
Video
has
Game
done-
Nerd.
Yeah. Go if you don't want to put yourself through it, go watch the Angry Video Game Nerd play it. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm sure it's great. If I remember right, the Angry Video Game Nerd can be vulgar, so just you've been warned.
Well, I've been waiting for the Grumps to play Sonic R because I think that's one of the only Sonic games they haven't played yet.
Yeah. I have seen
they haven't
them
played
do-
any of the racing ones from Sonic, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them do some other Sonic games, and they're great little videos. One day, if I ever have the ability to play it, I'll record myself playing it, and you can point and laugh at me. That would make a great Patty Plays Pathetically. But right now, I'm not going to play it. All right. Well, I already read what the game ranking score was, so there's probably no point in playing.
Yeah, when you read that out loud, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I didn't even think about it. I just read it. So there, everybody wins. Guess the Metacritic score.
Yes. So,
Congratulations
I'm gonna guess a 70.
for the PC version. That is spot on.
Yeah.
Nolan guessed 68.92, and you have the other one. All right, so we're just gonna, unless y'all have something else you want to say about the game,
Don't play it.
don't play it. Just watch somebody play it. All right, we will go
Some
ahead.
Call Me Johnny. He did all the Sonic Racing games. So if you like Some Call Me Johnny, go ahead and watch his Sonic Racing game video.
There you go. All right, time for 20 questions. Joel, do you actually have a game?
No.
So while Joel figures out what we're playing next week,
wait.
Um,
Oh, I had one. Oh,
so I'll explain the rules. We play 20 questions, find out what the game is next week. Well, next time, like I said at the beginning of the episode, next week is Easter. So we will not be recording until the Sunday after that. So there's going to be a little break in there. Also, once again, if y'all are hearing this in any capacity whatsoever, that is due to very hard work that our new editor, Assad, has done. We just had a meeting the other day where he told me about how he's actually been running into some problems, and he's been working really, really hard. I don't bring the problems up to like make fun of him. I'm just like, he's on it, and he's trying his best. We're using this service that is very strange. It's almost like Snapchat for audio, but there is a way to turn it into podcasting, and since it's free, that's what we're trying to use. So he's been working really hard on that. So if you're hearing this, it's because he was successful in getting it up. So head on over to facebook.com/crossforgegaming or facebook.com/groups/crossforgegaming and thank him for making that happen. I'm thanking him right now because I don't have to do it anymore, and I like that. Yeah, so the game that we're going to be playing for the next episode, which is going to be 2 weeks from now, Joel knows what it is. Nolan and I do not. We have 20 yes or no questions, including what the game actually is, to guess what the game is. So, do you have it?
I have an idea. Damn, I've already done that one. I'm looking at our games lists, and I'm just like, all right.
We haven't been doing
all right,
this.
you know what? Let's just go with it. Okay, I have an idea. Let's go.
One that we've already done?
No, not one we've already done.
I was like, no, that's not.
I had an idea in mind, and I was like, well, let's play a different game like this one, but we've already done it.
Okay.
So,
all right, Nolan, you can go first.
Think here.
Get your weird question out of the way.
Yeah. No, because that wouldn't work. Because you wouldn't pick an RPG.
or would I?
One day he's going
That
to,
would be
just because he
interesting.
knows that we're not gonna pick it.
Let's see. Yeah, sure. All right. Does this game have a special kind of art style, such as like cell shading or like just straight black and white or something like that? I realize games have a lot of it, but I mean like very specific, like cell shading or lack of color.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
He didn't feel super confident about that, but I won't get hung up on it. Was this game released prior to after January 1st, 1990?
Yes.
Okay.
This game released after January 1st, 2000.
Yes.
Ooh, a newer game. So late in 64. PS2, Xbox, GameCube, early PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii. That's what's on the table. Also,
no.
games and portable games. What are you knowing about?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, fine. I won't. Is this a platform exclusive?
Yes.
Okay.
Nolan.
Is this a Nintendo console?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Was it developed by Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay.
You have something. You look like you're gonna say "but" at the end of that, Joel.
No.
Okay, like yes, and then like it looked like you're making it. Okay, never mind.
It was developed by Nintendo.
Okay. Is this on the GameCube?
No.
Okay.
Wow. because that was the big. That would have been the most of it. So it's either well, it could be handheld.
Yeah, there's a lot of handheld.
Shoot.
Is this on the Wii?
Yes.
Okay. Wii games came out before this date, 2008.
There's a few.
March. Yeah, because the console
06?
came out in 06.
06.
The 360 was 05. It had a year head start on.
Oh man. Okay, that's what I was saying. Oh shoot about. It's not the date of recording, and it probably won't even be the date of publishing. But it is 10 years old.
Oh, okay. So it came out in 2008, but later than now. That's fine.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
That's fine. We're in the ballpark.
Okay.
How many questions was that? 6?
I lost track.
I think it was 6.
We'll call it 6. 7.
Well,
we're first. So
we're on 7.
Yeah, it'd be.
You just asked it. Oh no, wait. Oh, it's your turn, Patrick.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
So we'll say 6.
Yeah.
I really should be paying attention.
It's my. I just asked if it was on Wii. Did Nolan? Did you ask something?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Nolan.
Sorry. I'm like, wait. I'm agreeing. I'm so tired. I'm like.
You look
what?
tired.
I'm a little tired myself.
Let's see. It's on the Wii. Came out almost pretty close to 10 years ago. Developed by Nintendo. This is a platformer.
No.
Okay. Gets rid of a lot of my ideas then.
Is Mario in it?
Yes.
Okay. Mario's in it. It's not a platformer. So we're looking at Smash Brothers Brawl. Mario
Brawl came out earlier than that, though.
Mario Kart Wii.
I was gonna say it might be Mario Kart Wii, or oh wait a minute. Wait, no, you said it was developed by Nintendo. Never mind. I'm like, wait.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be that. Let's see here.
When did the Wii version of Punch Out come out? Because Mario would have been like the referee in that or something.
He wasn't though.
No,
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he was not.
Oh.
The cameo was Donkey Kong.
Yeah, okay.
And he was like a secret boss. You had
He
to,
was
like,
a super
beat the
boss.
game twice.
Instead
Yeah,
of Mike
yeah.
Tyson, it was Donkey Kong.
Right.
But yeah, like you had to go through the entire game twice in order to get to Donkey Kong, though.
Yeah.
I guess it could be a Mario Party game.
That's true, but why would we want to bring up discussing a Mario Party game on the Wii?
Those are my favorite.
On the Wii? What else is Mario in? Confirm Mario's in it? Is that a yes or no?
Yeah,
yeah.
He said Mario
Okay,
was
Like
in it.
when you already asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked it and he said yes. So
Okay. I need to ask something. Is this a multiplayer game?
Yes.
Okay.
No. I was about to ask if this game employed some stupid use of Waggle, but is a Nintendo first party Wii game? Of course it
No,
did.
we of
It's
course.
just throwing
That's a
questions
throwaway
away.
question.
Multiplayer. Is this a fighting game?
No.
So it's not Smash,
Yeah. No,
which I'm
Smash
glad
Bros.
because there are literally every other Smash Brothers game is better than that one, even the N64 one.
Yeah.
See, I like Brawl. I don't know. Everyone hates it.
I
I'm like,
know.
I like.
I mean, I don't hate it, but it's like if I have to rank them, it's my bottom one. Well, that's not true. The 3DS version of Smash 4 might be just because I can't use a GameCube controller. And it was
Never played it.
awful. I have it. It's It's Smash Brothers, but I can't use a GameCube controller, so it's hard to control.
Is this Mario Kart?
Yes.
Mario
I'm
Kart
like-
Wii.
Moving over,
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't ask, but I don't want to just.
Released
Yes.
in Japan on April 10th, 2008.
Ah,
So that's
Well-
just past our prospective recording date. It didn't come to North America until April 27th, and that's why I was kind of like, oh shoot.
Yeah. But since our publishing date is Wednesday, it will have been out by the time anybody gets to hear this.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you go. Mario
Actually, it
Kart-
would be. No, it'd be the day before.
Yeah, so we're gonna publish on the 11th. All right, so we'll be
Yeah,
pretty much
Yeah.
right on the anniversary almost of the 10 years Mario
Yeah.
Kart
Mhm.
Wii. That did not come out right at all. Anyway,
So, yep, it's available on the Wii. If you have a Wii U, you can also play it. This game, I feel like amongst Mario Kart fans, is pretty divisive.
it
I
plays
didn't play the Wii
really
one.
well with a GameCube controller, in my opinion.
the
I-
reason that I am not crazy about it is because there's serious rubber banding with the AI.
Yeah. I
It's-
mean,
It's notorious.
it's always been a thing. It's always been a thing in Mario Kart, and so by
feels-
the time I played Mario Kart Wii, like I just didn't care anymore. Like I knew it was going to happen. I did manage to get gold on everything. I 100% completed this game as far as I'm concerned. You do get little star rankings based on how well you perform in the race. It's not based on your placement in the race. It's based on how well you perform in the race
Mhm.
and placement. So like you have to literally get hit by nothing and hit nothing in order to get 3 stars. And that's impossible in 150cc.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I never got 3 stars in 150cc races, but as far as I'm concerned, I 100% because I got gold trophies and everything. So
I used to make the argument that it was an inferior version of Mario Kart because if you were to take me and my circle of friends back then and have us play any version of Mario Kart, I'm in first every time except that version. And so that just made me go, there's something wrong with this game because I'd crush everybody here if we're playing any other version of this game. So, but no, it's a good game. I feel like this game's like up in the top 10 best-selling video games of all time.
Yeah,
It sold a stupid number of copies.
300,000 on launch day in Japan alone.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, we can talk more about this next time. Part of the reason why I was like, oh man, I wanted to do Mario Kart 64, but we've already done that, and I know we've done Super Mario Kart and Double Dash, and so this is just the next one.
Yep.
And it just happens to be the 10-year anniversary. So
All right, so be playing that again. It's on Wii and Wii U. Since it is a Wii game, there's no digital version. They didn't repackage this like they did Galaxy, and I don't know why they would have. You got Mario Kart 8.
no.
So yeah, so if you want to play it, you got to get a Wii and a copy of the game. Excuse me. All right, time to say goodbye. Nolan, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Baseman214, Baseman21491, and Icy White Falcon, and Steam, PlayStation, Nintendo, various social networks, social media things. So usually it has my face there or something similar at least. Except
Indeed.
PlayStation, it's a picture of Daxter, but you know.
Joel, where can we find you?
Anywhere you can find me on the internet, you can find me under Obi-Wat Kenobi. That'd be Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Steam, Nintendo, PSN. Just search for Obi-Wan Kenobi. You'll see me dressed as Jesus holding a lightsaber. And there you go.
Indeed. I got distracted for a second because I have Twitch open because we were streaming earlier. We're not anymore. We're hosting somebody. But I saw my followed channels and, it shows you who's live and how many people are watching. And it's always really sad when I see someone streaming and no one's watching. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I see that. I'm like,
I feel like I should go watch them, but
especially because that's
I'm
a really good game.
busy. I want that game, but
It's really good.
don't. It's not on PC, is it?
It's on Steam. That's what he's playing it on.
Oh, really? Well, shoot.
Yeah.
I should get this. I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive.
It was on. It kind of was. It didn't come out on Steam for
What
a while.
are you watching? I'm watching CS:GO hosted on our channel.
Yeah, no, he's talking about like
No, it's the channels that are live and yeah, and I didn't want to sound like I was ragging on them though, so that's not why I didn't say who I was talking about.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
so that game's on.
I saw him go live on, or like on Steam. You know, this person is now playing Nier Automata. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's a really fun game.
I am very interested in that. Oh, one day when it's not $60 anymore, I'll probably
it was
pick it up.
Huge like
put it in your wish list.
Not
it was it's developed by Platinum, isn't it?
Yeah, Platinum, but I think Square Enix had
Square Enix.
It was a huge Square Enix sale that it was part. It was like
that robot is wearing a pink ribbon.
It actually says here on Steam that Square developed it. I could have swore Platinum developed. And for those of you who are like, what the crap are they talking about? Talking about Nier on on how do you say that word?
Automata.
Yes,
Onomatopoeia.
No, I need to know. I'm looking up on. I know we're supposed to be saying goodbye, but I need to know. Yeah,
look.
Wikipedia says this game was developed by Platinum. So Steam, you're wrong. Get your crap together.
Also,
not according to Wikipedia. Platinum Games developed it.
A sale.
This is the weirdest thing.
There's a bunch of Square things.
Well, because Square published it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Dude, I mean, just like streaming. Sorry, I'm watching his stream. He's streaming Nier, but on the TV behind him, it's Fortnite. So he was watching somebody stream Fortnite on his TV.
That's funny.
But now he's playing Nier. That's weird.
Oh yeah, I see that too.
But anyway, it's a good game. Love Platinum. I'm playing through Bayonetta 1 on Switch, and I'll hit Bayonetta 2 eventually. R.I.P. Scalebound.
A bow on its head. Look at that. Anyway.
Okay, you can find me right here on Original Gamers Podcast. I always find it interesting that neither one of my co-hosts ever say that they're on this show. I realize that you don't have to say that because they're watching it, but I don't know. I feel compelled to say it. You can find me right here.
Both of us also streamed Across CrossForge.
Yeah, and neither one of you said that either.
I'm so tired, dude. I'm like,
if I don't have that in the notes, I'm never gonna say it.
So Nolan is on Thursdays with Nolan Dies. Monday is
Back to Dark Souls.
Is Mario Maker with Joel, which actually, as soon as we get done recording here, I assume that's what he's gonna go do. So just got Mario Maker. And I only stream on Fridays now. I used to stream on Wednesdays, but we've got other people doing that, so I'm only streaming on Friday. I do Jackbox. I do a lot of community game nights. In fact, my brother just sent me a message like, hey, what are you playing Friday? And I know I already have it figured out. I just don't remember what off the top of my head, so I got to go figure out what that is and tell him. You can find me floating around social media at facebook.com/CrossForgeGaming and facebook.com/group/CrossForgeGaming. I run our Patreon campaign. I guess I kind of run the Discord server. I didn't really volunteer for that. It just sort of happened. So I'm trying to keep up with that. You could say that I also run our Twitter, since the only thing that our Twitter ever does is tell people when YouTube videos go up. And since I run the YouTube channel, I'm usually the one making our Twitter account tweet stuff. So go over there, look at the YouTube account. We got the YouTube account, YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/CrossForgeGaming. All these things are platform.com/CrossForgeGaming, except Twitch, which is obviously .tv, and Twitter, because somebody already had our handle, so that one's CrossForge Games, but we'll get over it. We have really big stuff coming up in April that I'm sure we'll be ready to advertise very soon. That's not Original Gamers Podcast specific. It's CrossForge Gaming wide. So yeah, we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. Check us out everywhere. Share this with your friends. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I hear a lot of YouTubers say to give it a thumbs down, even if you didn't like it. So I'm guessing that means that a thumbs down is better than no interaction at all. So if you did dislike it, then give it a dislike. I hope you like it, because my self-worth is wrapped up in YouTube likes.
That's not true at all. I know you better than that.
All right, enough of that music. So coming into this, you heard Can You Feel the Sunshine? If you're listening to this on the audio version of the podcast, that is the outside of the title screen and all that. It's the first level that you have access to. And coming out of the show, we're going to play Supersonic Racing. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching, and have a good Easter next week. Check us out on all the stuff, and we'll see you later. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Be good, humans.